Welcome to the N.A.R. Comic News Network, where we make sense of the senseless with just the right touch of satire. Our top story tonight is coming straight out of the United Pentecostal Coalition, where it appears there's been a recent crackdown on the art of sermon delivery. According to inside sources, the coalition has unanimously agreed that their ministers are just not yelling like they used to. Apparently, the climax of recent sermons has been, let's just say, too comprehensible. Newfangled PA systems have been delivering crisp audio straight to the ears of congregants, causing an unforeseen problem. People are actually hearing what's being said. And when it comes to certain doctrine all gray areas, that can get a little too, well, complicated. To address this, the coalition has decided to roll back the clock on technology and bring back their classic distortion-heavy sound equipment. You know the type, the one that sounds like you're shouting through a tin can while underwater? Yes, that equipment. This way, even if the content is shaky, the sound will be anything but. If you're in the back row trying to make out the finer points of doctrine, all you'll hear is a triumphant crescendo of garbled syllables and reverberating feedback. Really, it's a move to bring back the mystery to worship and avoid all that pesky clarity. But it doesn't stop there. The coalition recognizes that, while the equipment is a step in the right direction, what they really need is a workforce ready to perform, and I mean perform at full volume. Apparently, ministers will now undergo specialized training in power preaching, with an emphasis on peak yelling techniques. This training will teach them not only how to project from the diaphragm, but also how to add just the right amount of slur and speed to keep anyone from catching doctrinal details. One coalition member described it as an art form, akin to the stylings of auctioneers or old-school baseball announcers. After all, if people leave the service with their ears ringing and only a vague sense of inspiration, you're doing it right. The real gem of the new plan is the Decibel Doctrines Handbook, distributed to all ministers undergoing training. It includes tips on everything from increasing speed to strategically inserting vocal fry for those moments when you really need to obscure a theological leap. Sections like the Holy Shout and Slur with Spirit offer practical advice on making sure you're loud enough to cover any hiccups in logic, leaving congregants awestruck and none the wiser. Now, this isn't just for show. There's a real performance metric being put in place. Every minister will be expected to hit at least 90 decibels at the high point of their sermon. That's loud enough to feel the sermon in your bones, but hopefully not clear enough to hear every detail. To ensure consistency, the coalition plans random checks with decibel meters in congregations across the country. The message here is loud and clear, or perhaps loud and wonderfully garbled. And that's the latest on sound and spirit from the N.A.R. Comic News Network. Remember, when in doubt, just turn up the volume and let the Holy Spirit handle the rest.